those glowing wands or dominance eyes, shredding all of those debuffs, definitely great to see.
Yeah, I think on top of that is also the fact that Cloud9 hasn't picked their roamer just yet. They're keeping it for last, and Florian would have been a great option for heroes like this Alpha, right? You basically allow the Alpha to stay alive a lot longer in team fights in the early phase, and just enable that snowballing.
Not be that afraid of this this Roger this early into the game, right? I mean, his claws definitely would not be as sharp as later into the game, especially since we are looking at the Roger going up against a Moskov, which understandably would have a lot of a tougher time to actually just snowball out of control. But okay, I completely forgot about this thing, possible thing.
It's a Ruby.
Yeah.
It's a Ruby goal. Yeah, it's a Ruby goal. I mean,
yay!
Yeah, I mean what the Ruby goal wants to do is just a sandbag, right? Like it's like a Teresa, basically side lanes for FCON. Yeah, I mean even Teresa side lane, right? Like both side lanes for Falcons is just sandbag. You know, you don't leave the lane, you don't take me down. I keep my structures alive, and that's the modus operandi. Of course, Cloud9, they're gonna take priority over the Little Wanderer. Good coverage early on. It's all about to see whether Mobile Zane gets ahead first, or it's going to be Dax, who is going to Quantum Charge instead of the Warcry. Mobile Zane taking killing spree of all things.
I actually, now that I think about it, it's actually pretty nice to see that Roger is going over to the jungle instead. Especially since if he's going to be paired up with this Moskov, he's definitely not going to be getting that snowball factor into the game that early. Especially since their team definitely goes around this Roger and the Fasa for damage in the early stages. So getting this Roger out of the gold lane is definitely going to be fine. And especially since we're looking at the roaming trio of Florin as well as Fasa, this Roger can stay alive throughout all of these situations, and he can still deal some mean damage, as you can see in the middle lane, already threatening Marcuti 1 minute and 30 seconds into the game.
Very good patience. Dax waited for Marcuti to walk as close as possible. Forced out the flicker. Would have been nice if he got first blood, but either way, Dax himself is single-handedly taking out space in this bush. It's not the easiest for Cloud9 to walk up forward, though Mobile Zane has the experience advantage. So if he drags this long enough, he's going to be at level 5, and that's going to give him the edge in securing this turtle fight. Both teams, they want that level 4 on that mid XP lane.
I feel that Cloud9's lineup right now have pretty much the same kind of problems in the previous game, right? When it comes down to jumping over to the back lines of Falcon. Can they even catch anyone at this point? But for now, that is welcome from Milo, connected down onto Royal Milk. And unfortunately for them, Royal Milk finds himself taken down. Dax is going to be the next one onto the chopping block, while Cloud9 does the same thing as game number 1, bring good amount of people down while taking the turtle.
Yeah, very well executed by Cloud9. Falcons Esports again, tunnel visioning, and Spear of Destruction connects from basic as a free kill delivered to the Moskov. Best case scenario for Cloud9. Just like game 1, they're off to a great start. 2k gold advantage just like that.
Especially since we want to see a Roger steamrolling out of control. This is not the game. This is not the result that Falcon essentially would want to see. We want to address a couple of we definitely want to address a couple of issues for both teams and what they want to initially achieve in the stage, right? Falcon Esports, they won their early game using the Roger as well as the Fasa. But in the meantime, Cloud9, they want to completely destroy the side lanes, right? Especially when it comes down to Moskov going up against Ruby. Moskov is definitely gonna have a great time, considering the fact that he's currently 2.3k gold on 2.3k gold in terms of economy, and Ruby somehow still managing to get 2k for himself.
Yeah, I mean, again, Ruby Benny is going to be a sandbag this entire game. As long as you don't lose that top tier 1 and you are able to lock your opponents in lane, that is good enough. Although for basic, he has the ultimate, so he can navigate cross map if he is needed. Right now, I think I'm not sure if they were able to steal the purple buff away from Dax, and if they were able to, then it means that Dax is just going to have a rough time just like the previous game, right? Mobile Zane is 3 levels ahead of him at this point of time.
Are we going to be seeing a repeat of game number 1? That is always going to be the question for now. As 15 seconds, as we are going to be looking at the total in 15 seconds, Cloud9 readies themselves up by getting quite a bit of control in the river. Down at the bottom though, Royal Milk with a nice little flicker though. He makes sure that he's going to be out of sight and out of mind from Cloud9. Milo himself also expended his own.
Yeah, but
wow.
PX7 in the jungle. The rotation from Cloud9 is just on point, and the fact that Milo got out means that Falcon Esports, they used all that for nothing. And even losing their own mid laner in the process. Second death for the Farsa. Turtle is now up on the top side, and I don't see a way for Falcons Esports to contest.
No, not at all. I think that contesting this is going to be a death wish, and especially since they are not getting control of their own jungle as well, as you can see. The Spear of Destruction connects down onto Florian, brings him down preemptively. PX7 hides himself right under the nose of the turret, and he's going to be safe and sound while unleashing his Feathered Airstrike. Cloud9, they readies themselves for the turtle, albeit with Coldwell having only half HP. He should still be dominating enough to eventually jump right in if he really needs to.
Yeah, this Grok is a big problem. It's the wall, it's the crowd control.
I'm offended, connected down on the Mobile Zane, brings him down almost immediately. Dax takes the turtle and managing to contest for that. Coldwell immediately flickers himself out of the way and is going to be safe and sound for now, or maybe not, as PX7 unleashes death coming in with the Feathered Airstrike. Base is going to be the next one on the chopping block as well, as Dax brings him down preemptively too.
What a turnaround from Falcons. First of all, Flicker, I'm offended, takes down Mobile Zane, secures the turtle for Falcons, and a Feather Airstrike underneath the tier 1 to secure 3 more. That's recovery. Falcons are completely negated the lead the Cloud9 got after the first turtle, and Daxi wants
lead
more.
Means nothing to the eyes of Falcon Esports. In the meantime, the Spear of Destruction is just going to be connecting down to Kid X, while the basic is just going to be focusing himself on Dex, but somehow Dex is going to be running away just fine.
Hey.
But Benny, he actually went in for the Unoffended, which actually pulled the enemy closer to make Dex die. So unfortunately now, Benny went against the world. Cloud9 managed to clap back in that small, tiny little problem of Falcon Esports.
No, Benny saved Dax, but Mark QT chased him down. He stole Dax's ultimate. He became the Lycan himself to get the kill. So Cloud9 again punishing, but this is the replay after the second turtle fight, right? Very good coordination from Falcon Esports, just letting Dax get the cleanup, letting him recover, catch up to Mobile Zane, at least making sure that the deficit isn't too bad, and then Cloud9 responds in kind. Mark QT chases him down, Mobile Zane again cashes in on some kills, and Basic was able to find another one with the Spear of Destruction, something that FCON gotta pay a bit of attention to, though. The global presence from the side of Cloud9 is not to be messed with. But at least FCON's deficit isn't that bad. They still keep it under 3k.
I mean, immaculate position coming in from PX7 thus far throughout the entirety of that fight. But for now, it does seem like Cloud9 is just going to be focusing on Royal Milk again. But Mobile Zane got pulled in, but I'm offended. And the aggressors, in turn, has been taken down instead. Mobile Zane now suffers a 20 seconds death timer onto themselves. And Falcon Esports focuses themselves in the middle lane, wanting to bring down this first tier defense turret in the middle lane. But Mark QT is going to say no as much as possible, trying to whittle down all that ballista as fast as possible. While that push in the middle lane happened, Dax focuses on the turtle and gives good economy to the rest of the team.
Both teams just running it at each other with no impunity, with no regards. They just want to fight. This bomb tier 2 should go down to FCON. This Mielo can clear it, well, with the help of Mark QT, definitely so. Again, Falcons keeping it within an arm's reach. In fact, a Lycan form stolen by Mark QT of all ultimates available.
Always ensuring that there is a nice gap between themselves and Cloud9. Falcon Esports is just pulling all of these gameplay as well as all this macro play just very effectively. They make sure that trades are trades. If they lose anyone, they will want to find something to recover from it altogether. So Falcon Esports, even from the previous game, right? We have seen before time and time again. They lose some members, but they will find another way to get themselves back on track.
Yeah. And Cloud9, after that skirmish, realizes that, man, we cannot one-shot Royal Milk anymore.
No way.
They're gonna try.
But looks like they are still definitely gonna be trying after all. They used quite a bit onto Royal Milk though. But now Royal Milk immediately jumping in for his quick little ultimate, but doesn't seem like the penalty zone actually did do anything at all.
Mielo misses the Daytona's welcome. Cold War's power of nature basically makes him CC immune to the penalty zone. So both teams just have to call it quits. You know, we tried, but nothing worked out. Probably it's time to get ready for the first Lord of the game. It's going to be spawning on top side, which will be taken care of by Royal Milk. Teresa is one of those few heroes that, yeah, you can kill him 10 times, 20 times, but eventually he is going to scale. He is going to be useful regardless, because he is the guy with the body of the Smith after all. So we'll see his first Lord fight is going to be very, very important for both teams, especially if Falcons get their hands on it.
Now, what is the game plan here for Cloud9 though? Because we have constantly been seeing Milo going in to initiate using the Dana's Welcome. But time and time again, they don't have enough damage because they don't really quite seem to have that kind of battery to work with this kind of pick-off comp, because Cloud9 they're just focusing on that time and time again and just not working. But we'll get back to that in a short bit, as Basic just went in ham against PX7.
I was about to get to that as well, right? Having a Moskov gives you sort of global presence. Split push is very strong, and with PX7 down, Cloud9 would definitely get this Lord. I don't see how Falcons can contest this. They don't have the Florid out. But at the same time, Cloud9's draft has a lot more cloud control compared to game 1. Seems like Falcons, they still want to fight.
Does seem so. Milo flickers himself out, but the penalty zone did manage to connect a little bit on Coldwell, but he's not going to be caring about anything because he does have the power of nature. He's going to be fine for now. Royal Milk is going to be the first one onto the chopping block, and Cloud9 understands that that is probably the most that they can get from this, and they are going to be backing off and waiting for the next 11 seconds for the Lord to come out.
Yeah, they need PX7 to be around. Dax himself does not have enough damage. You can see he was trying his best to try and get someone into execution range, but they couldn't do it. And while all of that was happening, Basic just took down the bottom inhibitor. So Cloud9 not only got the Lord, won a team fight, picked off crucial targets, but also gets an inhibitor under 10 minutes, under 11 minutes. This is gonna solidify them in the driver's seat for this game for sure. Definitely a lot more solid compared to game 1.
I mean, it's a very solid back and forth game. Like FALCON Esports as well as Cloud9, it's very clear that both of these teams are pretty much on par with one another. And unfortunately, only one team will prevail. It's either a 1-1 in this best of 2 format, or it's a 2-0 in favor for FALCON Esports. But at this point in time, the script is writing for Cloud9 to be able to get themselves that one game against FALCON Esports to tie things up. The Lord is going to be marching in the bottom lane, but Cloud9, they want to merge the lanes. They want to ensure that the inhibitor turret in the middle lane will be destroyed. As such, PX7 focuses onto the feathered airstrike. He clears out the wave as much as possible and manages to defend. The rest of FALCON Esports now focuses on the top lane, but Cloud9, they want to get a little bit more. The Terizla just going to be jumping in, but it doesn't seem like they will be able to do too much from here at this point on. Mobazane is going to be the one that goes down second, but perhaps we'll get a third one, as FALCON Esports, they're not going to be stopping just yet. They get Milo down, and now another one when it comes down to the offender. We'll be able to connect on the Basic on the Marcuti. Basic was hoping that he will be able to turn things around, but Marcuti, he completely ditches him and goes back home.
Have you seen the Florian engage? Little Kid Axe flickers and throws out the soul to stun both Basic and Marcuti, and allowing Benny to get the second I'm offended, pulls Basic back, kill him off. Falcons, they still lost to inhibitor, so that's a win for Cloud9 nonetheless. But again, Falcons refusing to go down, refusing to stay down. Manages a recovery. Unfortunately, they will not be able to get the mid-tier 2 silver lining for Cloud9, but you look at the net worth for both teams, it's even.
Dead even, wow. FALCON Esports, they are definitely going to have a lot of problems when it comes down to the macro gameplay, needing to juggle the top lane and the bottom lane while trying to score something in the middle lane. Because understandably, the middle lane second tier defense turret, it will do quite a bit, right? But yeah, pretty much the replay gave us a very good idea of how the previous fight went through. But now we're going to be looking at the next one, as Royal Milk just going to be jumping in for the second hit onto the opponents, and he did manage to put out a pretty good penalty zone. Mobazane is going to be the first one taken down, while FALCON Esports is just going to be marching in the middle lane. Cloud9 completely spread out. No one can see where exactly Basic is. He's going to be fine and dandy for now, but I don't think anyone want to fight back again.
Yeah, and in Cloud9's, the plan is very straightforward, right? We're going to start split pushing lane. We're going to start forcing it to come back to defend the base, because if you don't, we're going to tear it apart. Falcons, they're going to try to rush down the Lord as much as possible, and Cold War sees this. I think Benny just got caught, so Benny's going to go down.
Quick little terrifying. Marcuti brings him down. The Lord, 75 HP. Dax still managed to get it in his pocket in the end of the day. But they want more. They want blood. And they're swimming in the waters. As Marcuti is just going to be going for the IMU, taking away the ultimate of Dax. He's just going to be focusing down onto him as much as possible. Denanas Welcome just going to be connected. But in the meantime, the front lines, we do have Coldwell as well as Basic. They are focusing onto Royal Milk. But Basic's HP is not looking good. He immediately jumped himself backwards, and he's going to be fine for now. The penalty zone connects on the Royal Milk. He's just going to be stuck in there. And he's probably gonna go down, and the immortality popped. Cloud9, they're marching in. They will be able to take this core down if Royal Milk is not gonna clear things down. But where's the damage? They're unable to clear the core down.
No damage.
All alone to try to bring this core down, and he's probably gonna go down to the hands of Benny. Cloud9 tried to end this fast, and unfortunately wasn't able to do that, and now they face the Lord marching in the middle.
Yeah, try to take a sip of royal milk, people. He comes back, Festival of Blood, Blaze Spicy, one man fights off the entire Cloud9. And he healed up so much that Cloud9 just did not have the output once Basic got absolutely splattered by his hammer. And without Basic, there's no way Cloud9 can end the game. And especially with the lore, right? Your empowered minions allow Falcons to survive for a bit longer. Another lifeline game by Falcon, and Cloud9 coming so close for the second time in a row, but just not able to close it. And Falcons have managed the recovery 2 times in a row.
So close to tasting that sweet, sweet victory for Cloud9. They want to go for the 1-1 so bad, but it wasn't able to. So we're just going to be focusing on the present now. Cloud9, they did manage to make sure that the Lord did nothing to the middle lane at all. As you can see, the second tier defense turret is still standing up really tall, and they're gonna be a-okay about that. There's still about 1 minute until the Lord eventually appears, so both teams, they might actually want to play things a little bit more safe while still testing the distances against their opponents.
Yeah, the only advantage Cloud9 has over Falcons right now is that they have the silent inhibitors taken down. That is what's gonna, prompt Falcons to defend their base every once in a while. That's something that I feel like Cloud9 should really start taking advantage of. And every time Falcons wants an objective, you force them to deviate from that, right? Push the silent in, threaten with your split push potential. You have a Moskov, one of the best structured destroyers. And Cloud9, they've been able to set up the side lanes for now, which means that they've given themselves control over the entire map.
At one point in time, Falcon Esports is definitely going to have a little bit of a difficulty when it comes down to clearing up waves. But it does seem like we do have Ruby that is just going to be picking up a couple of good items here just to solidify more damage to actually clear waves out. Because he did manage to pick up a Sea Halberd on himself instead of the typical kind of Dominus Eyes to get a little bit more defense whatsoever. So Penny as well as Royal Milk, they're going to be a-okay. When it comes down to clearing wave, they got an AoE, that's all fine and dandy.
Yeah, the lack of wave click definitely is going to be a slight detriment for Falcons Esports, right? It's why you see Bombazine just got the Endless Battle and he's working on that Lord. This Lord could help Cloud9 basically win the game over Falcons Esports after so long. And Falcons, they know that they have to contest this.
If they don't contest for this, it is probably going to be game over. But Falcon, they're testing the opponents. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity. But the quick little reset from Cloud9, even Cloud9 themselves understand what kind of threat that they're looking out for. This game could quite literally go to anyone here.
Yeah, and Benny knows this, right? Which is why he's waiting to see where Basic is. But Basic has used his ultimate. This is the chance, Falcons. Let's see if they can make this happen.
As Royal Milk takes his first stand in the front lines. He's going to be holding on to the Lord for a tad little bit. But there's the flicker as well. That as well coming in from Milo, just going to be connecting down. But oh, the heals coming in from KidX ensures that Dex will be able to stay alive for a little while longer. But it doesn't seem like they will be able to do too much.
Basic!
Now, it's just going to be Marcute. He's just going to be holding on to the back. But basically, he's just going to be jumping over to the back lines and focusing down onto the core as much as possible. They push in. It's all left with KidX. Royal Milk and Benny is nowhere to be seen. Never mind. Royal Milk is now here. Is it really even gonna be enough? Basic is just dealing immaculate damage over to KidX. They want to end this fast enough, but Basic is just gonna be jumping around with a sliver of health. Both of them, they're gonna be fine though. All of these lanes just gonna be pushing right in. Even with the Lord, Cloud9 have got nothing that could help bolster the damage of this Lord to help them to even end this game. The split push is tried and unfortunately wasn't done right.
At least Basic got the last inhibitor down, but with Dex back in the game, Basic no help. They cannot end the game just yet. Falcon still hanging on. And you would think with everything that had happened, Cloud9 would have at least a gold lead, even at a point where it doesn't matter. But no, Falcons Esports are just resilient. It feels like they defy death themselves. And again, Cloud9, the only advantage that they have is that they got the Lord, good control from Mielo, the Flicker, Daytona's Welcome to literally stop Dax from having any effectiveness in that fight. If Dax got the Lord, it would have a completely different story. But Falcons Esports truly trial and tested and now put in the most damning disadvantage that they've ever faced in this BO2 against Cloud9. But it really feels like recovery is just a stone throws away.
It's all about that split push potential that Cloud9 could potentially just throw over at Falcon. Especially since Falcon wants to play team fight. They want to go all in as a death ball. But Falcons, I think it really boils down to information. Can they even grab all of these information? Can Benny and Royal Milk even brave all of these finest warriors in Cloud9, walk past all of them and see is Basic even there in the team fight? Because if Basic isn't there, they can expect that Basic will be coming in from the side lanes and try to end the game sneakily.
It's starting to be a bit difficult for Falcons to take care of the waves, and you're seeing it, right? The wave clear isn't exactly the best from Falcons Esports. They're feeling the heat right now, all inhibitors down, which means these minions are going to be incredibly durable. Immortality onto Mielo as well. This last Lord, Cloud9, have priority from start until finish. And if they can catch Dax one more time, I think Cloud9 surely will win this game. But what am I to say, right? Falcons have defied the impossible for so many times.
Time and time again, they showed us what exactly that they are made of. But looking at limitations, Falcon Esports definitely have got all of that limitations put onto them as to how they can clear the waves, right? Even Benny focused on more offensive scenario, or rather offensive alternatives from the Dominus Eyes. It definitely managed to help them in clearing up the waves in the later part of the game. But 20 minutes onwards, trying to clear all of these mega creeps, I think that is definitely going to be tough.
They want Dax bottom side.
Doesn't seem like
Dax gets away. Hey, they still want him.
Flicker coming in from Cold World with the WoW charge, but it doesn't seem like they will be able to isolate anyone at all. As such, Falcon Esports all 4-man is just focusing down onto him as much as possible, bringing the Grok down. Royal Milk, though, he puts himself at the top lane to give more information. But Cloud9, the main part of the game, is down in the bottom lane as Marcuti is going to be taken down now. The offenders are going to be connecting down to Basic. As such, the Immortality is going to be taken down. And that is going to be him going down right now. Cloud9 did manage to bring the Lord down, sure, but we have a full 4-man from Falcons that will be knocking onto the door of Cloud9.
Yo, Kidax with the Winter Crown baited Basic and Marcuti in, allowing Dax to turn it around. But again, like you said, Cloud9 got the Lord at least 21 minutes in. This is straight up an evolved Lord. Falcons, they got to deal with the wave. This is not going to be easy, but at least Dax gets the mid-tier 2. And I mean, Falcons was able to buy so much time because Royal Milk sacrificed himself to stall out the Lord take as much as possible. They should have time to whittle down the Lord at least and give PX7 space to clear out the side waves.
I don't think that they will be able to bring the game to the end at this point in time just yet. But it is all just pretty much going to be a wet noodle fight. As now Benny is just going to be going with the Armor Feather with quickly Flicker coming from Star Mielo. He's going to be safe and sound for now. But Benny is just healing up so much. He's not going to die at all. As now Falcon Esports, they do have PX7 coming in now. The wall charge doesn't seem
Mielo misses all.
He didn't go for the dead as welcome. Did not connect to anyone at all. Dax gets himself a mega kill. Brings Mielo down. That is one of the tough front lines coming from Cloud9 that would really help them to defend this upcoming push from Falcons potentially.
I cannot believe what I'm watching right now, Abstract. Benny, the damage from the Ruby stacking up. Mielo misses Daytona's welcome. Basic misses the Spear of Destruction. Crucial ultimates that Cloud9 needed to land to stop Falcons. Again, good news, Cloud9 has not lost an inhibitor
Yet.
It's crazy. It's crazy to look at this and be like, the only reason Cloud9 has not lost the game yet is because they got an early inhibitor early on, or else I think Falcons would have closed up shop like, what, 10 minutes ago?
Probably.
But we get to see another potential Lord fight between these two teams, and Falcons continues to defy the odds.
They're breaking every rule out there. Falcon Esports slated to lose a couple of these team fights, but somehow still managed to come back time and time again. But now Falcon Esports, they did seem like they will want to get a hit down on the MOBA Zane, as now Royal Milk jumps in. His penalty zone connected to the MOBA Zane. A very crucial take. They managed to bring 2% down from Cloud9. And with the Lord that will be popping up in 40 seconds with a death timer of 1 minute on Cloud9, this is gonna be detrimental to Cloud9.
Absolute cinema from Falcons. Kidax, another Winter Crown. And Mielo had to use his ult to get away. Basic not able to get a split push going. I don't think Falcons can get an inhibitor, but they sure as hell have been able to manage the minion wave the best they can. One cannon still remains.
Jumping onto Marcuti, but it doesn't seem like Marcuti will be phased at all.
Basic zone landed.
Down onto the Terizla, but Royal Milk immediately popping up with the crown, and he's gonna be safe and sound for now. With this one ballista, will they be able to make the dream work and bring down the first inhibitor turret for this game?
A comeback of a century. Can you imagine? Can you believe this? Day one of the MSC group stage, and we're seeing this on stream be graced by Falcons Esports. This is what, Lord number 5. Cloud9, Mobile Zane just came back to life. Can they make it there in time? I don't think it's possible. Falcons should have this in the
Constantly
bag.
playing from behind. Falcon Esports, they are well versed in playing from behind and they are not afraid of anything at all. In the meantime, the trades between Ultimate, between Milo as well as Royal Milk is just going to be ensuing, but that is not going to be the catalyst of starting a new fight.
Unyielding spirits from Falcons. Now Lord finally in their hands after a grueling almost 25 minutes. Just beaten and battered, but not down just yet. Lord will be on the bottom side because that's where the inhibitor is down. Falcons looking to take up as much space as possible, and it's Cloud9's turn to be on the defense, to stick together. Falcons is just going to let the Lord auto escort the wave, and that's going to give them openings to start threatening the remaining structures on the side of Cloud9. And I think Royal Milk just got his immortality back. I mean, the cooldown has already come back up. And that means another life for Royal Milk, who is just man-fighting Mobile Zane.
Doesn't seem like Mobile Zane's damage output, all those true damage, is really doing anything at this point in time. We're not looking at a lot of high HP heroes from the side of Falcon Esports. In fact, it is just so sustainable, and we are amplifying that with Kidex, with his ultimate, and they're not afraid of anything. But for now, Grok comes in from behind. Coldwell was hoping that he will be able to get to the final with the wild shot, doing nicely, but 4 men the penalty zone! Coming in, Royal Milk! They clean things up, and Cloud9, they suffers another defeat to the hands of Falcon Esports.
And the Falcons soar above Cloud9 into infinity and beyond. The sky is no longer the limits. Myanmar putting a mark on the
matter of fact. So honestly, this highlight just pretty much brings down so much information and just shows us the beauty of what Falcon Esports has managed to encapsulate for us in the very first match of the day.
I'm speechless. I literally am speechless.
This is game one, dude.
Is this the definition?
I mean, match one.
This is match one. I mean, is this the definition of willpower? Is this the definition of the power of friendship? Like what the Falcons just completely defying expectations, right? I mean, I urge everyone who missed the game or tuned in halfway. You have to watch this game from start until finish. You would not think that this is the conclusion of this game. A game one, understandable.